Instagram ran with the same headline. Keyshawn Davis misses weight again. And like that, without anybody stopping to ask questions, without anybody looking into what actually happened, the narrative was set. People ran with it. He's unprofessional. He's done. He's the same old Keyshawn. You can't trust him. All of that off a headline, off a screenshot, of misinformation. Here's what actually happened. Keyshawn steps on the scale, comes in at 0.3 pounds over. They put up the curtain. You know how they do. You got to take everything down, take your underwear off, strip down. Sometimes they cut their hair off. He steps back on the scale. Now we're at 0.02 over. 0.2 over. So they give him his 2-hour window, which is the rule in professional boxing. He goes to handle his business, comes back to the scale, steps on, and then he's on weight. He made the weight. The fight proceeded. There's no controversy. So somebody tell me, where exactly did he miss weight? Because I'm not seeing it. Now, I know some of y'all are looking at the screen right now like 2 cents, but he still came in over though. And you're right, on the first attempt he did. But let me explain to you how professional boxing weigh-ins actually work, because clearly this needs to be said. In professional boxing, when a fighter comes in overweight on their first attempt at the scale, they are generally granted 1 additional attempt to make the weight. That second attempt has to happen within a strict window, usually 1 to 2 hours from the time of the fight's first weigh-in, depending on the commission and the contract terms. That's not a favor, that's not special treatment, that is the rule. That is how it works. It is written into the structure of professional boxing and weigh-ins. So the first attempt is not the final verdict. The fighter gets a window to go to and handle their business and come back. Now, if after the 2-hour window, the fighter still can't make the weight on the second attempt, then we have a problem. Because at that point, the fight may still happen, but penalties kick in. The overweight fighter typically forfeits a percentage of their purse or their opponent. In a world title, if it's a world title on the line, only the challenger can win the belt. The champion cannot lose their title if they came in heavy. So sometimes both camps negotiate a catch weight, and sometimes the fight gets canceled entirely. We've seen examples of all of those. So this is what missing weight actually looks like in professional boxing. And none of what happened here, because Keyshawn came back and made the weight on the second attempt, we was all within the rules, so that should be the end of the story. But here's where I want to draw the line clearly, because I think this is the root of all the confusion. People are comparing what happened this week to what happened in the Los Santos fight. And I understand why on the surface it looks similar, but Keyshawn came in overweight both times. But what happened after is completely different, and that difference is everything. So in the Los Santos fight, Keyshawn came in heavy on the first attempt, got his 2 hours, came back to the scale, and weighed more than he did on the first attempt. More. Think about what that means. In 2 hours, you were supposed to be doing everything you possibly could to lose the weight, to drop those pounds. I think he came in like 3 pounds over the first time. And you somehow gained another 2 pounds. And I think he came in 5 pounds the second time. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's something like that. So that just tells me one thing, and one thing only. You wasn't even trying to make the weight. You had no intentions of making that weight on the second attempt. And he showed up to the weigh-in unprepared, not serious. And when the moment came to go fix it, he didn't even try. And if you remember everything surrounding that fight, I was saying before the fight even happened that something was off with Keyshawn during the whole build up to the fight. He was acting sporadic. The energy was strange the whole build up. And then it all came out at the weigh-in. Los Santos made his weight. He showed up and was professional. So he's like, nah, I'm not about to fight you overweight under those conditions. And he walked away. And he was absolutely right in doing that, even though that kind of caused some issues between him and his manager, but that's another video. So what Keyshawn did in that situation, that was actually missing the weight. In this situation, Keyshawn came in slightly over, got his window, went and handled his business, lost the weight, came back on weight, and that is a completely different story. And people need to stop treating them like they're the same, because they are not the same. And this is what really bothers me about the situation, is the reason this spread so fast is because people already had the narrative ready. The moment they saw Keyshawn and overweight in the same sentence, they didn't need any more information. They already knew what they were going to say. The story wrote itself before anybody even checked the facts. And of course, that's dangerous, because that can genuinely mess with a fighter's career and their reputation. Because now you've got casual fans, people who don't follow boxing closely, people who are just seeing these posts in their timeline, and they're walking away thinking Keyshawn Davis is some guy who just can't make weight and can't be trusted. And that's not what happened. He followed the rules, he made the weight, and he showed up to fight. But the correction never goes as viral as the original lie. Nobody's sharing the post that says he's actually made the weight on the second attempt. That doesn't get the click, that doesn't get the shares. The drama get the clicks, the outrage get the shares. And Keyshawn just gonna have to deal with it, because he kind of brought a lot of this on himself. Now, here is where I'm going to be real with Keyshawn directly for a second. You did nothing wrong by the rules. I want to be clear about that. But the optics of this are still bad, and you know it. After everything that went down with Los Santos, you cannot give people any reason to start that conversation again. Even if you technically made weight, even if the rules say you did everything right, you know how people are going to spin it. You know what your history looks like. So you have to be better than the rules require. You have to come into that scale on weight the first time. No curtain, no getting naked, taking your clothes off, no 2-hour window, no cutting your hair. Just step on, hit the number, and walk away clean. That's what you need right now. Not just technically correct, visually, undeniably, and unquestionably professional. Because right now you're still rebuilding. You're still trying to get back to where you were before the Los Santos fight. And every little thing that can be used against you will be used against you. So, Keyshawn, don't give people no ammunition. So let me bring it home. Let me tie it all back together. Let me circle it all back around. Keyshawn Davis did not miss weight. He failed his first attempt, made his second attempt within a allotted time window, and the fight went ahead as scheduled. That is what happened. That is the fact. Anybody telling you different is either misinformed or just running with the narrative because it gets more clicks. Now, drop your 2 cents below. Do you think this situation was handled fairly? Do you think Keyshawn needs to clean up the weight issues going forward? And do you think he delivers tonight against Nahir Albright? I want to hear from you. Let me know and drop it below. Follow me on X at 2 cents 20 and follow me on IG at 2 cents boxing. I'm Jay, and stay tuned for my 2 cents in the next video.